So we called her Omalori because that means grandmother. That was my mom. My mom was born in Germany, and she lived through Nazi times. She went to a Jewish school for the deaf. Both my parents were deaf, so they went to a Jewish school, but they only stayed there for a few months because of Nazi times, the occupation. The family had to figure out how to leave the country because America were not accepting children with disabilities. So my mom was really young. She was a little girl. She was about 5 years old. So they were trying to figure out, my grandmother, my Oma Recha, she figured out how to get into France because a doctor there didn't know that Omalori was deaf. So they went to the health clinic there in France and they looked her over and they gave her a clean bill of health. And then they went back to Germany and they got their visa and they were planning to come to America. My mom, Omalori, she was kind of pulled around and she was rushed along, and it was about 3 to 6 weeks that all this happened. They went to the doctor, they got a visa, and then they left their country and they came to America. And she ended up going to Lexington School for the Deaf here in America. She was a very strong person. You know, all of that she went through, all those experiences. And she really always stood on her own 2 feet. She could be a stubborn woman. She showed a lot of leadership. She was involved with the Jewish Deaf Group organization in New York called the Hebrew Association for the Deaf Sisterhood. She was the secretary. She was very active. She ran a lot of events for them. She really enjoyed her life. She enjoyed her grandchildren until she passed away. She ended up passing away very young due to cancer. I always remember her as a leader, even though she was my mom. She really influenced me to be involved with organizations for the deaf, especially Jewish organizations, on the national and international level. She was a really good influence on me.
My mom was an only child who grew up in Brooklyn, surrounded by her aunts, uncles, and cousins. She would always share stories with me about the shenanigans that went on in that apartment. The pinochle games, piano playing, the singing, and waiting her turn to use the one bathroom the 9 of them shared. It was an apartment full of love, and she carried that love of family with her for her entire life. When she married my stepfather, that love extended to my step-siblings and later to our spouses. She would always say she was rich because I have my family, even when she was struggling to raise my brother and me as a single mom. Mom was a very strong woman. Some would say she was feisty, as she wasn't shy about sharing her opinions, especially when her opinion differed from yours. It was that strength that got her through difficult times and let her hold on for as long as she did. Mom was a beautiful, glamorous redhead. She was a baker extraordinaire who baked and schlepped her goodies to her grandchildren's Brit and baby namings. She was an amazing knitter. Her great-grandchildren now wear sweaters she originally knit for her grandchildren, and she was an unbelievable hostess. Mom loved the Jewish traditions and always appreciated when Cantor Gustavo would call to wish her a Shabbat Shalom. Mom was very wise, often advising with incredible common sense and lots of love.